3 tricks, thanks to Dummy's trumps.
Thanks to Arthur's appalling foozling, you mean?
Did he foozle?
Oh, did you see his discards? I ask you.
That was the new badminton discard. It's played in all the decent clubs.
It may be, Minton. There's no question about its being jolly bad.
Why didn't you play the 7 of diamonds?
For the simple reason that I hadn't got it. You had it.
Oh, well, why didn't you ask for it?
Because I didn't want it.
Oh, don't quarrel, dears.
They're not quarrelling, my love. They're playing bridge, the silent game.
Cue for general laughter.
Harry's late tonight.
Yes, there's no doubt about it, he is late. But he's not been run over by a motor omnibus or blown up on the tube.
I wish you didn't find it necessary to make fun of me, Henry.
Fun of you, my dear. If the truth must be told, I'm rather worried about the boy myself, and I made a feeble attempt to be merry and bright.
Ah, so you're worried too. Why? What have you noticed?
Leave it to you, partner.
Hearts.
Oh, help!
No comments permitted.
That wasn't a comment. That was merely an involuntary exclamation of despair.
Look at Dummy! 5 hearts to the king.
That settles it.
2 nights after Beryl came to stay, I found Harry walking about his room gloomily an hour after he'd said good night.
That was because he was so anxious for news of the examination, poor boy.
No, I suggested that, but he said, "Oh, bosh, I've passed all right. It's indigestion." And he more or less shot me out of the room. But when I listened at his door after I'd had my bath, he was still pacing about.
Oh dear, oh dear. There's certainly something on his mind. Is it money?
No, I asked him this morning if he was hard up. He said he had plenty.
What do you think is the matter? He was in the highest spirits a week ago, making all sorts of plans for the future when he should be a full-blown doctor.
He worked very hard for the exam and he's suffering from the reaction. Waiting for news is very trying. Like a good chap, his great ambition is to begin to earn money so that he shan't be any longer a strain upon my anaemic government office purse. That's all. Directly he hears that he's through, he'll be all right again.
I do hope so. He's been quite short with me the last day or two, and he seems to stay away from home as much as he can. Ah, cook.
Here's a telegram.
A telegram?
Who's it for?
Harry Robertson it's got on it. It's for the boy, I suppose. No Henry is called Harry after he settled down and had a child.
Give it to me, please.
I think it says Harry. What I wish the post office did was to stamp telegrams with a postmark. Then you could pretty well guess who they was from.
Will you give me the telegram?
Well, I brought it in for you. But don't you go opening it unless you're sure it's for you.
I will use my own discretion, cook, thank you. It is for Harry.
It's about the examination.
Oh, Father, do open it. Please do.
It is not addressed to me.
Oh, that's splitting straws. It must be about the exam, and therefore it's addressed to the family.
I think you might, Henry.
Do, Mr. Robertson.
If you do, we could give Harry a rousing reception.
Yes, and what price putting up the Mafeking flags?
No, no. This contains news that will affect Harry's whole life. He would prefer to open it himself.
Well, as I bank on his having passed, I shall trot off and get one of his special cakes already. Oh, what a night!
I'll put it here on the mantelpiece where it will catch his eye.
Oh, you mustn't use the simple word I when speaking of Dr. Robertson, Father. You must say the glove or ball movable in the orbit.
Yes, we must choose our words very carefully before the doctor.
We don't know that he is a doctor yet. The telegram may say he's failed.
Who'll take a sixpence to a rotten orange that it doesn't?
My dear child, Don't use such vulgar expressions.
Why should a rotten orange be any more vulgar than a sleepy apple or a bad potato? My dear mother, don't fall a victim to the code of manners of the Earls Court Road.
Me again. Now then, quick. Are you in or out?
Why? Surely no one has called at this hour.
Yes, the vicar.
The vicar?
So, seeing as how he had on his begging expression, I thought I'd better ask.
What do you think, dear?
Acting for the widows and orphans of missionaries who've been made into soup by West African epicures.
I think we'd better be in.
In. Right. Very feeble.
Well then, let's get it over. I've just got 5 shillings.
Fancy cook answering the door. Her curiosity is too wonderful.
Don't let him sit down or he'll stay the whole evening.
He must sit down.
Arthur,
Yes?
may I ask whether you're playing bridge or beggar my neighbour?
Why? What's he doing?
Playing a wonderful and hideous game.
Sorry, my mind's not on the game tonight. Would you mind reading this note? It's private.
Oh, how touching. Private. Is it proper? Will you please leave me alone with Miss Mercado and guard the door for 10 minutes? I want to propose!
Oh, look here, dash it all.
I think we might have a little music now.
No, stay and see it out. I've saved him all the preliminary beating about the bush. All he's got to do is ask you yes or no. And all you've got to do is say one or the other. It's quite easy. I'll keep carving for 10 minutes. Be brave and let who will be brilliant.
I...
Yeah,
What I was...
what did you think of the pictures at the Anglo-British exhibition?
Very good. Very good indeed. I thank you. I mean...
It's all right, I quite understand.
I don't know how you feel. I feel that I should like to be in the cellar, even among the beetles.
I did. When Phyllis was idiot enough to read that thing out aloud. I'm awfully sorry.
I don't mind a bit. In fact, I believe I'm glad. It does save me from listening to an immense amount of remarks that have nothing to do with the subject.
Yes. But she hasn't made it any easier for me. I've still got to make the plunge. May I?
Yes, I think so.
I love you. Will you marry me?
This is where I sit down.
Why, are you shocked?
How could I be? It's a perfectly proper question.
Then what do you mean?
Well, I want to think about it.
Think about it? Good heavens, it isn't a thing that bears thinking about.
Oh, I know it isn't with most people. That's why there are so many unhappy marriages.
But you do love me. You know that without thinking, don't you, Beryl?
Yes, I do.
Yes, you do what?
Why, love you, of course.
Oh, hurrah! Then you'll marry me. Beryl!
No, not too fast. Wait a minute.
I can't wait. You said that you loved me. I don't know whether I'm on my head or my heels.
You're on your heels, Arthur.
Oh, do be serious. This means so much to me.
It means even more to me. That's why I'm more serious than I've ever been before. I do love you.
Beryl!
But I'm not at all certain that I love you well enough to marry you.
But If you love me, of course you love me enough to marry me.
Not at all. I love 5 men just as much as I love you.
What?
How do I know that one of them isn't the man I want to marry?
5 men? Who are they?
4 you don't know, and the 5th is Harry Robertson. No, I can't possibly make up my mind tonight.
I don't want you to make up your mind. I don't agree with a girl having a mind.
Be careful, Master Arthur.
Oh, dash it, I don't mean that. What I mean is that I think a man ought to make up a girl's mind for her. Let me make up your mind for you.
But what's the good of my having a mind if somebody else makes it up for me? It's like having a piano and letting the next door neighbour play on it.
Through with it yet?
No, go away.
Well, hurry up.
Oh, good Lord. I'm getting jumpy.
Oh, but that's absurd. This is a moment when you ought to be absolutely calm and collected. Excitement and haste may mean years of misery.
Years of misery? Married to you?
Well, years of misery for me, then. Evidently, I don't count so long as you're happy.
Couldn't love me if you thought I was that sort of creature. I think about you far more often than I think about myself.
Oh, it's very nice of you. But that's the way to become an angel. And if you become an angel, you can't possibly marry me.
Why not?
Because there is no giving in marriage in heaven. And I hope it will be years before I join you there.
How long have I got to wait before you make up your mind?
Until I am quite certain that I can't marry Harry Robertson, Aubrey Rackett, Gerald Handers, Cyril Law, and Charlie Hackett.
Have they asked you to marry them?
No, but they all will as soon as I give them a moonlight opportunity.
Oh, good Lord. Before you come round to me again, you may have met and loved another 5 men.
Oh, I know. It is difficult, isn't it?
I insist on you marrying me. Do you hear?
Oh, I like you more than ever for adopting the strongman tone, Arthur dear. But unfortunately, Cupid has not yet shot an arrow into my heart. He has sent plenty of arrows at me, but has always missed the ball.
Where did he shoot for me?
I'm afraid you're an outer, old boy.
Will you give me a kiss to go on with until you make up your mind?
Of course I will. Mwah!
Oh, I'm sorry, why did you put a notice on the door?
It doesn't matter in the least, thanks.
When did you get back, darling?
How long have you been in?
Well, my boy, here you are then.
There's a telegram for you, dearest.
What's the excitement? A telegram? Oh, from Bartlett, I suppose, asking me down for a weekend.
No, you don't think it's anything of the sort.
We thought it might be about your exam, old man.
Oh, that thing. Been playing bridge?
Yes, dummy.
Held rather good hands.
All the hearts, I see.
Won't you open your telegram, darling?
Any time will do, Mother.
Well, I never thought that you were sidey. Well, for goodness sake, open it and put us out of our misery.
I met Cyril Law today. He asked to be remembered to you.
Oh, dear old Cyril.
Yes, he's pretty long in the few teeth he has left, isn't he?
Nice sweet remark. You obviously like him.
I've never thought about him. He's merely a drab wall to me.
You might just see if that telegram's about the exam, old chap.
Me again, just tidying up round here.
It isn't, Father. It's only from some idiot who spent 6pence because he couldn't be bothered to write a card that would have cost him a halfpenny. This room seems popular tonight.
Oh, I can't stand this. Congrats, old man. Stop. You top the list of passes. Stop. E.G. Lloyd.
Oh, my darling boy!
Well done, Harry.
Played indeed.
Oh, I'm so glad.
So am I, simply delighted.
Now then, all together, hip hip.
Hurrah!
Ah!
Good Lord.
Dr. Robertson. Dr. Robertson. And at the head of the list.
This is something to have lived for.
Thanks very much. Is the drawing room going to be used tonight?
Yes, let's all go and play and sing.
Yes, come along, Beryl. Come along, Arthur. Phyllis, run and light the candles on the piano.
I will. Oh, it's all right in the summertime.
Come along, darling.
Later, Mother, I want to work with Father.
Yes, exactly.
All right. But not too many words. Come along, Arthur.
I'm afraid I must be going.
Oh.
I must write a letter or two before the last posts. Well, I can't tell you how glad I am that you've done so frightfully well.
Thanks. Good night.
Good night, Mr. Robertson.
I'll see you out.
Harry, old boy.
It was raining when I came in.
Glass has been going down all day. Shall we smoke a pipe?
Try some of this.
Looks good.
Isn't bad.
The next thing to do is to look out for a partnership for you. What do you think? Town or country?
Neither. I shan't practice.
Wait. Oh, I see. You mean you'll take up a hospital appointment?
As a matter of fact, I don't, Father. I'm going to chuck doctoring.
Chuck doctoring?
Yes. Sounds almost funny, doesn't it, after working for it and passing?
The word funny doesn't seem to me to be the one.
No, I suppose it doesn't. Call it ingratitude, waste of time and money, whatever you like. They are all the right words. I'm very sorry about it, but there it is. I'm a fool, and you can't alter me.
I think you owe me some sort of explanation, Harry.
Yes, I do. I was working to do well in my MD for two reasons. First, because I wanted to show you that I understood and was awfully grateful to you for having gone without things to pay my fees and keep me.
Thanks, old man.
And second, well, that's it. The second reason has suddenly crumbled. I've worked for nothing as far as that's concerned. I didn't know until just now.
Just now? Since you've been in?
Yes, don't ask me what it is. It sounds feeble enough, but I'm the sort of idiot who goes in for building up castles in the air, and a castle is no good to me unless the right person is going to share it with me. I've made a hopeless mistake, and so I shall chuck everything and go out to Canada or somewhere and get on to something else.
I know I'm disturbing you, but I was told to ask you both to come into the drawing room.
Oh yes, the drawing room, to be sure.
So, you've passed.
Why don't you go into the drawing room?
I want to be alone with you. Do you object?
Alone with me? Bosh.
It was no surprise and no news to me that Mr. Lloyd telegraphed. I knew you'd pass.
Why?
Because I know you. You said you would.
Why waste those beautiful things on me? Unless, of course, you want to save them to me to keep your hand in.
I don't think being successful quite suits you, Harry.
Oh, why?
You've been quite a different Harry this evening.
And I'm likely to be the same different Harry in the future.
Oh, so you know you've been different then.
In exactly the same way that a man knows that his arms have been sneaked off by machinery, yes. However, it doesn't matter. Do you want a well-built castle in the air, south aspect, drawing room, 25 by 25, water, hot and cold, an acre of garden suitable to a young married couple, No offer refused must be sold by order of the devil.
You are talking like the reckless, bitter hero of a romantic drama.
Well, why quarrel with me for that? They always talk 50% better than anybody else. Make the most of it. You'll soon hear nothing but Arthur's commonplace prattling.
I shall? Why?
Well, I suppose you won't gag the man when you're his wife, will you?
Arthur's wife? I hadn't intended to think about that for some time. But when I do think about it, I don't want to think about it. No, my mind's made up.
You don't appear to be talking Chinese.
I'm not. I've just settled rather an important point, that's all. Arthur asked me to marry him just now.
When I clumsily plumped in on the kissing episode?
Yes, that's right. Oh, what a memory you've got. I'd forgotten that.
Wish I had. Well, what would you like me to give you? I've got a beautiful collection of medical books you can have. Bright reading.
I'm not marrying, thanks.
You're talking like an idiot. What do you mean?
Oh, don't hurt my arms, Harry.
Blow your arms. What are you babbling about? I saw Arthur kiss you. Are you or are you not engaged to him?
No, I'm not.
Then why did he kiss you?
Because I told him he might.
Why?
Because he loves me, and I love him.
You love him and yet you're not going to marry him. You're talking rot.
Why call a thing rot simply because you don't understand it? I love several men, but I'm not going to marry them.
Several men?
Of course. I love you, but I don't think I'm going to marry you.
What did you say?
No, my dear Harry, if you shout like that, your mother will think I'm hurting you.
Did you say that you love me or am I off my head?
You're really hurting my arms.
Don't quibble.
You'll shake all my hairpins out.
Tell me what you said.
When? I forget. Oh, I do wish you wouldn't shake me as though you were going to take me.
I will take you, little wretch. You said you love me.
You pretended you didn't hear.
If you love me, you've got to marry me.
Why, pray?
Because I love you as only a really colossal ass is capable of loving.
Oh, I quite understand what you mean, but...
Oh, but be hanged.
Look, I've already told Arthur that I can't promise to marry him until I've made up my mind that I want to. And I say exactly the same thing to you.
Yes, well, and I say this to you. I don't care tuppence for your mind and whether you make it up or not. You're going to marry me. I'll hold your arms and put up with your wagging tongue until you do. Otherwise...
Otherwise what? Oh, your hands are so strong that I'm certain you'd get all your pennies back at the try your strength machines.
Otherwise, I'd chuck doctoring and England and the whole game and go to Canada.
That would be silly.
A man in love is always silly.
It would also be very rough on your father and mother.
A man in love forgets his father and mother. Marry me, do you hear?
All the bullying, all the threats, all the bruises in the world won't make me marry you until I know for certain that I want you.
How will you...
Keep quite still. Don't breathe.
What's the matter?
Did you see someone come into the room just then?
No, what the dickens do you mean?
Someone came in, I'll swear.
What sort of someone?
A boy, all creasy and pink with curly hair and dancing eyes and a bow and arrow. Oh!
What's up? What's wrong?
Nothing. Everything's right. This time he got me clean in the centre of the heart.
Oh, I don't understand a blessed word of all of this.
Ah, it doesn't matter. It's only quite a little private affair of my own. You may be interested to hear that I'm quite ready to
To what?
marry you, idiot.
Ah,
Mwah! Oh, where are you going?
sit still and be quiet. Father, mother, Phyllis, here, quickly.
What is it, darling? What is it?
I said I was going to chuck doctoring. Well, I'm not. I thought you'd like to know, that's all.
What's happened?
Beryl.
Beryl?
Oh,
She suddenly made up her absurd mind that I'm the man she's going to marry, and so I'm all right. What did it? I don't know.
I'll tell you. An arrow did it.
An arrow?
Arrow?
Yes, that's why Cupid came to Earl's court.
You have been listening to Why Cupid Came to Earl's Court by Cosmo Hamilton. Your cast were Malcolm McAllister as Mr. Henry Robertson, Toby Vennard as Harry Robertson, Tim Williams as Arthur Tilney, Wendy Grossman as Mrs. Robertson, Karen Hayworth-Taylor as Phyllis Robertson, Jenny Trickett as Beryl McMurdo, Andrea Wilkins as Cook. The play was directed by me, Mandy Gasson, and I also did the sound. The play was presented to you by Q2 Players.